Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel. It has been a hot minute since I've uploaded to this channel. If you're still subscribed, I really appreciate it. I've just been lazy, but I have been uploading content on my other channel, which is a gaming channel. I will link that down below. If you haven't seen it already, go check it out. Link is down in the description. Leave a like, subscribe to that channel as well, and check out all the videos there. I would really appreciate it. But yeah, with this channel, we're back on the saddle. That was a good rhyme. Definitely subscribe and hit the like button on this video. I'd really appreciate it. The topic of today's video, this guy, the Honda Grom. So what is it like? Well, only one way to find out. Let's jump on it, go for a ride, and see what it's all about. So, Honda Grom, as usual, let's start off by talking about some specs. Now, disclaimer, the specs on this bike are not going to blow the pants off you. And that is sort of the theme of this video, where I'm not necessarily going to be focusing on the performance statistics of this bike, but rather why this bike in general. Excuse me people, I'm coming through. Because honestly, with a 125cc engine with, yeah, get this, 10 horsepower. I'm not joking, 10 horsepower. I triple checked this online. It's got 10 freaking horsepower. That's, what is that, 7.5 kilowatts. Oh my gosh, this thing is slow as heck. There we go. Yeah, this yeah, it's definitely not gonna be accelerating like a Ducati. It's definitely not gonna accelerate like a CBR, but in saying that, the reason I want to talk about this bike is just, well, it's fun, you know. I've been wanting to ride this bike for the longest time ever. I've rented this bike courtesy of Rent This Bike. I'll link them down below. But yeah, this bike is it's just hilarious to ride on. When I first got on it, I'm like, this is so different to my MT-07. It just feels like a clown, you know, on a little tiny bike. That's what it feels like. And yeah, it's so nimble as well, you know. You've got dual forks up the front, 31mm travel, I believe, and a single shock in the rear. Again, don't really pay attention to these statistics because I'm just mentioning them for the sake of it, because this bike isn't about the stats. But anyway, wheels are, I'm trying to remember, it's a 120/70 up front, 130/70 out back, both 12-inch rims. That's right, 12-inch. The tiny. Now there are other 125cc bikes, like, again, from Honda's own stable, the CB 125. It's not as fun as this, and I think what really makes this bike fun is the fact that you have those small wheels that just add to the overall nimbleness of this bike. This thing, wet weight, is about 100 kilos, give or take a kilo. That's incredibly light, and I'm talking wet weight, so that's all fluids. Yeah, and it's just incredible, you know. What else? Brakes are fine, you know, rear and front, they work just fine. Just like every other statistic of this bike, it's just fine. You got yourself a single disc up front, 220mm dual piston caliper, single disc at the back, 190mm if I'm not mistaken, single piston caliper. And yeah, it's fine. Again, because this is a very light bike, very small bike, it's quite easy to come to a stop. And yeah, fuel capacity 5.5 liters. I think the fuel consumption, or fuel economy rather, it's like 1.76 liters per 100 kilometers. That's obviously in the Australian standard. I think in the traditional MPG, that's 134 if I'm not mistaken. I'll correct it on screen if I'm wrong here, but yeah, it's definitely a great bike for commuting. Now the transmission on this, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 4-speed transmission. Again, don't really pay attention to that. You can't really even tell what gear you're in because there is no gear indicator anywhere on the instrument cluster. So you sort of have to just shift until you can't shift anymore, and that's fine. You know, again, it isn't about its performance statistics. This bike is purely about the joy of riding, and that is basically my point with this bike, and that is, this bike is why you should get into riding. And I'm not just talking about motorbike riding in the sense of hitting twisties every other weekend. No, I'm talking about if you want to get into motorbike riding but also want to get hands-on with your motorbike in learning how to maintain it, this is a great platform. Everything is accessible on this bike. You want to do an oil change, right there. You want to change your spark plug, it's only got one spark plug. So easy. Want to change an exhaust? This is a great bike to learn how to change an exhaust. Everything is exposed, every nut and bolt you can get your hands on without having to sort of break your fingers. Okay buddy, just cut across me, thank you, douchebag. So yeah, it's a great platform, but also I wouldn't necessarily confine it to just beginner bikers. I will also extend that to experienced bikers who may not necessarily do their own maintenance but want to learn how to do their own maintenance. Many of us ride motorbikes and not all of us do our own maintenance. I myself have done maintenance sort of half and half, where sometimes I take it to a dealership, sometimes I do it myself. Depends on the situation and the convenience of the situation at the time. So this is a great bike that you can get your hands on, and you see them go for average maybe around 2.5 grand on Facebook Marketplace, to give you an example. Come on. Wow, the clutch is so light. Like when I pull it in just a little bit, I don't know if you can see that on your screen, just pulling it that little bit disengages the clutch. This bike is so nimble. Like look at it, it's just, you just throw it. Look at that. Oh man, I love it. I just love how nimble this bike is. It's so easy to maneuver. Even though it won't accelerate like a Suzuki Hayabusa, it definitely will put a smile on your face. So yeah, this is such a fun bike, and couple that to the aftermarket scene where anything and everything is available for this bike. Again, great option for beginners who want to get into learning how to modify their bike. This is a great platform. You get one of these, you get a blank canvas, and you go mad shopping online, buy some, you know, new bars, new grips, new levers. Now I know that's available to every other bike, but I feel like when you go with other bikes, the general size of those bikes can make it a little bit intimidating. I know myself, even when I think about modifying the MT-07, it kind of intimidates me a little bit because it is such a bigger bike. So I always feel like, oh, if I break something, that's it, you know. So yeah, but because of the size of this bike, I feel like when a beginner wants to go ahead and modify it, they won't feel as intimidated by it because of the size of the bike, the form factor. It's just so incredibly small and light. Now for me, this review would not be complete without doing a highway test, and luckily, what do you know, we got ourselves a highway. So here we go. I'm at 60 kilometers an hour. I don't know what gear I'm in. 75, 80. In the immortal words of Lightning McQueen, I am speed. 106 at 8,000 RPM. I honestly have no idea what gear I'm in, but nonetheless, pretty stable, not bad. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I don't know what else I can say about this bike. Thank you so much for watching. If you stayed till the entire length of the video, I really appreciate it. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't, and yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video.